All right, well, that long video is actually uploading. I'm going to do a really short one to say, yeah, Giovanni doesn't tell the truth. Neither does my mother. So to cover up Giovanni's fraud, he tried to make me out to have a breakdown. So I pretend that I did. So let me explain exactly what happened, because like I said to people, I said, isn't it funny? Can't sort of go from really normal, like you can see videos, footage of me, to having a breakdown, but I did act. Sure I did. So let's confirm exactly what happened in 2015. Besides me telling Giovanni so many times about not answering my mother's phone calls, not answering Marianne's phone calls, I had a gut for this bullshit. Like he just kept putting me under pressure. Giovanni Consalvo had me under duress every time we had to go somewhere, literally jumping out of my skin. The night before I ever had to go to a medical legal, he was making me not sleep. Like seriously, it was sleep. I was getting sleep deprived with Giovanni Consalvo. I was walking on eggshells. He was deliberately doing things to try and set me off. Oh, and he's done it in the last 10 years. Yeah, am I lying? Because the guy since... So let's just talk where Giovanni was when I first met him. So I met Giovanni. It was the Monday after my nephew Brendan's first birthday in August 2008. Okay, I met him in Moore Park. All right. Now, I used to always go to Moore Park up the far end, which is where I used to exit with my horse and ride down Moore Park Road. So it's up near Paddington. So, and that was my meditation. It's one of my meditation places. So Giovanni Consalvo, I met him there. He was off his face on drugs. He's an ice user. He always was. These are bottom gay guys. Bottoms. Most of these bottom guys, they do. And he gets fisted. I don't care. Like, hey, you want to lie about me? I'll tell some truth about you. So, yeah. And he thought I didn't know. Like, for fuck's sakes. Anyway. Look, my relationship with my partner, John Cabino, was dwindling by that stage. And he was just a fuck buddy fling. Giovanni. He was living in a share house in Kensington. He'd not been... So, originally, apparently, his mother said to me that his name was Jonathan Craig. Or Johnny. He grew up in country town Adelaide. And he hadn't been in Sydney for like 11 years when I met him. He was living in a share house in Kensington. Had massive amounts of debt. Like I think he had... I know I've got them saved somewhere. He had statements to do with... So apparently he got a girl pregnant when he was younger. They never raised the kid, but he had to pay child support for it. I don't know how it works. Didn't even know I never expected... Like last two partners I never expected to have kids. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, happened to me another one with kids. Like I see idiots go about John Cabino. I'm like, yeah. I was dating John Cabino about 3 months before, and he was the most... You ask Rebecca, my cousin on the Central Coast of Brook, and they were like, oh God, John was like a girl. He was so camp. I'm like, yeah. Would you have expected him to have a wife and kids? They're like, no way. I'm like, exactly. So when he told me around my birthday in April 2005 that he was divorced with kids and the kids want to meet me, what did you think? I was shocked. And he goes, I suppose you're going to leave me now. I'm like, well, I can't now, can I? But heads up, first would have been great. Oh, by the way, like we first start dating, like seriously dating in February or whatever it was. Oh, by the way, in case you know, in case it gets serious, I've got kids. I'm like, okay, thank you. I don't want to continue with the relationship. You know, that would have been a good heads up. Thanks very much. But anyway, no, I did. So I stayed with John for a long time. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Giovanni or Jonathan Craig or Gio or whatever he calls himself in Sydney, he is from Adelaide, was struggling in massive amounts of debt when I met him. He was living in a share house in Kensington with Paula. I can't think of the address right now. I think the house was actually owned by Paula's mother. They were renting it. And Paula lived there, Gary lived there, Gio lived there. He had a bedroom, a mattress on the floor, Xbox and a TV. He had nothing. His entire life packed up into a 3-door hatchback that he didn't even own. He came over to my place and stayed with all my assets and belongings. Now you can see photos of my place, including in December 2008 when I was doing one of my fabulous Christmas parties. Okay. And videos in 2007 and stuff. You can see my place in Surrey Hills, what I had. So he came and he stayed and he moved in with me. That's what happened. Okay, without getting into too much detail, because I have already and I don't like to keep explaining myself, wasn't believed anyway. So 2015, oh, by the way, when I met him, he actually asked, he's sitting, so in the kitchen, so I had an eating kitchen, plus a massive big 10-seater dining room. I had a 10-seater dining table in the dining room. The eating kitchen had this buffet, a kitchen buffet, and a chair next to it. He's sitting on the chair, I'm in the kitchen cooking, and he goes, why did you leave John? Like, John? I said, And like he asked, was it to do with kids, whatever? I said, no, it's to do with my mother, my mother's family. I said, since I've been mugged, they won't stop so I can rest and recover. Basically, since I was mugged and robbed November 30th, 2007 on my way home from work, they just keep hounding me. Oh, you can come up here now, you're not doing anything. I'm like, I'm rested and recovering. Sorry, my coffee was ready. So basically, November 30th, 2007, I got badly mugged and robbed on my way home from work. Glasgow coma scale 13. So if you're a normal family, you let somebody do whatever they need to rest and recover so they can return to work. Why was my family continuously hounding me? And it got to the point where, what was it? July? It was, might have been August. Look, it got to a point where we're at, was it Albion Street, where Beck was living at the time, the place that she grew up in, so my cousin Rebecca LeMay, and my mum turns up. Now, Rebecca is Dad's niece, so Mark Fleming, my father, his sister, Sandra Fleming's daughter. My father divorced my mother in the 80s. My mother just thinks that she can do what she wants. She even turns up to, when we were at the holiday house, she turns up, I can be here. It's like, no, you can't, Carol. My dad divorced you. You think you have right to do whatever you want in my dad's side of the family. My father divorced you, Carol, a very long time ago. You're not part of the Flemings. Don't try to be part of the Flemings. Okay, you want to fuck off. Basically, that's why Dad gets his attitude with me. It's like, nothing to do with me. You're the one that married Mum. Why do you blame me for it? Like, seriously, Dad blames me for it all the fucking time. So he's like, oh, I can't have you living here because if you live here at Dad's place in Empire Bay, I'll have your mother turning up. I'll have your mother's sisters turn up. I'm like, oh, Dad, no, you wouldn't. I can't stand them. I said, and you blame me. You always blame me, but you're the idiot that married our mother, but you blame her kids. Blame her. Why don't you put the blame where it's... Seriously, Dad said that, and he fucking did. Oh, I can't have you living here because if you live here at Empire Bay, you know what happened? I'll have your mother at my doorstep. I'll have her fucking sister Marianne here. I'm like, oh, piss off. Well, why don't you grow some balls, Mark Fleming, and tell him, listen, my son lives here. You fucking purdy cunts. Don't come anywhere near my fucking house. I'll call the cops on you. Do that. I do it all the time to the fucking bitches. Seriously, he won't stand up to my fucking mother. She's a bitch. I can't stand my mother's family. I really can't. So... that's what he always does anyway. So Carol turns up in 2008 to her ex-husband's, all right, her ex-husband's sister's children's house. Throws her weight around like she's got a right to be there. She goes, I used to be here when I was married to their father. I'm like, yeah, when you were. You don't have a right to be here. Get out of my cousin's house, Mum. And she goes, no. That's what she said. No, I've got a right to be here. It's like, you don't have any right. This is my family, Carol. This isn't your family. Fuck off. My boyfriend, John Cabino, almost flogged her over the head with a wine bottle, I kid you not. He picked her up and threw her in the fucking car and said, get out. Now, Darren LeMay and Rebecca LeMay can confirm that. He did. He picked her up and had a gutful of her behaviour. It's like, get out. She did it in 2012. She turns up to my grandparents, my dad's parents' house at Ettalong Beach, causing a scene. She did. So my partner Gio and myself were staying at Nan's place in Bangalow Street. My grandmother Ruby's passed away in 2007, but still we're staying there at the holiday house in Ettalong Beach. Mum turns up, staying and I thought, okay, she wants to stay. I asked my dad's family, I'm like, look, Mum's here. She wants to stay tonight. She's got nowhere to stay. I'm thinking, bullshit. She's like, oh, all the hotels are full. Can I stay? It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Here we fucking go. It's like, yeah, Carol's going to start something. She always does. So we let her stay. Next minute, she's fucking starting. Her fucking behaviour. It's like, get out, Carol. This is my dad's family's place. No, I was married to your father. That's what she goes. It's like, who cares? You don't have any legal right to be at the Fleming-sized place. This is the Fleming's holiday house, not yours. Okay? Fuck off. Like, this is what she's like. That's why, and I get blamed for it. It's like, well, why are you blaming me? Don't blame me for my cunt mother's family. Like on the Fleming, like Dad used to be like that. It's like, why are you blaming Amanda and I? You always blame Amanda and I. Why don't you blame yourself? You don't stand up to your wives. You know, that's your problem. Or, sorry, your wife and your ex-partner. You know, that's yours. That's not my problem. You stand up to him. It's not my job to talk for you, Mark. That's, well, Dad. I've never called my dad Mark. But yeah. And that is the fucking truth. So Gio's sitting, this is where I'm getting to the story. So Gio's sitting on the chair next to the buffet in the kitchen. He said, why are you leaving John? And I basically said the hell that I've had since I was mugged after work. I get mugged after work. I'm trying to rest and recover to go back to work. And I've got my mother like a maniac coming to Sydney all the time going, you need to pack up and move. I'm like, no, I'm not. Thanks. That's what she's doing. So where any normal person that has an injury after work gets to rest and recover, I didn't. I had them at my doorstep all the time when my ex-boyfriend kept throwing her out. It's like, thanks. So thank you very much. So as a injury that I'm trying to rest and recover from, you've exacerbated, Carol. You're an evil fucking bitch. And don't tell me I'm lying. She did it again the last 10 years. She just turns up. She's a fucking evil piece of shit. Anybody who knows my mother's side of the family, don't come near me. You're fucking cunts. Don't ever fucking come near me. Even though my mother's piece of shit family. I want nothing to do with you. So that's why I said the Giovanni Consalvo. I said, so why I left John? Because of my mother. I said, and I won't have another relationship until she's dead. Anyway, stupid me ended up getting into another relationship. Got into a relationship with Gio. So that's how it happened. He came into my place and stayed in 2009. Now he moved into my place and my money, my assets and belongings. In 2008, I had over 140,000 in one bank account. I worked for it. It's my money. So yeah. So he lived with me. So then jump forward. This is what I'm getting to. The shit the last 10 years. So not only was I pissed off to do with Giovanni always on the phone to fucking Marianne. Then I'm like, look, man, we've always spent Christmas and Easter in Sydney. Until like my entire life, even after Mum moved, Christmas and Easter was spent home in Sydney. Okay. Until the big bullshit that the deadbeat cunt Christy Childs and Mary Mahowski wanted to do in 2004. Because they were like, oh, why should we travel? I'm like, well, I'm not traveling to your place. I did not stay at home in the city. So I had Christmas for years in the city. So my Christmas has always been spent in the city, not with them. Daytime I might have had them in like in the suburbs, but I worked at Star Casino, then went out for Christmas dinner in the city. Been doing that for like 20 odd years. So anyway, so 2015, I found a document. My signature's on this document. You can see straight away, it's like, that's not a real letterhead. It's got George Jacobs on it, saying that he had to give time off work for Giovanni because he was a sole carer of Justin Fleming or something. I'm like, I find it, and Giovanni snatches off me, like, nothing to do with you. I'm like, it's got everything to do with me. What's this bullshit? You're a carer, are you? Oh, you might as well tell people you're an assistant. You're my assistant. I've been a cunt back. But no, fuck you. You're a carer, are you, Giovanni? I said, what's this? That's my signature. That's my signature on that document. He goes, I need time off work. It's got nothing to do with you. It's like, it's got everything to do with me if you're using lies about me to take time off work. Thanks very much. And I said that. So this is in 2015. So of course, straight after that, what happens? Oh, I start getting lied about. Oh, 2016, Giovanni starts involved in organisations like ACOM, Bobby Goldsmith, some reach out organisation. I'm like, why are you involved in them? What? And I even said to Matt O'Rourke, I'm like, oh, you know you're not needed. This is just for Giovanni. Obviously, he's covering up something he's done. I said, yeah, I've got health problems. I was in a Glasgow Coma Scale 13, November 30th, 2007. Yeah. I had a really bad seroconversion with meningitis and get really sick from it, especially with the chronic fatigue and high lactic acid in my blood. But I barely see Giovanni. Barely see the guy. Doesn't clean, doesn't cook. Comes home, sits there, plays a bubble game on his phone, and this is what I get from him. When I walk in the front door, I want 2 hours to myself. He sits there. Whatever. Hi, Gio. Like he's like a fucking mentally retarded dickhead. I couldn't stand my relationship with the cunt. Seriously. Gets home. So you're not going to talk to me? This is what it is. Like this. I'm like, you are a fucking weirdo. Couldn't wait to leave. And that's why I walked out of my apartment in April 2015. So I wasn't living there for 6 months. That's where the trouble started. He's just a fucking cunt to deliver. He's a fucking cunt that pushed my buttons and I was walking on eggshells the entire time. I was like, nah, see ya. This is too uncomfortable for me. You're making me sick all the time. I'm jumping out my skin. No. You come home for 2 hours, and I'll be like, "Do you want anything?" Be like, "I've asked you not to speak to me for 2 hours when I come home." Really? You're a fucking creep. Who the fuck do you think you are? Get out. I'm like I said, it's like, get out. I'm paying the rent here. I pay the bills. You're living in my place. Get the fuck out. Who do you think you are? Walk into my apartment and say, "I've told you not to speak to me for 2 hours when I get in." So who the fuck do you think you are, you little cunt? Fuck off back to country town Adelaide where you're from. You fucking prick. That's why these lies started in 2015. This is why it started in 2015, went to 2016, went to 2017, and hasn't stopped for 10 years. That's why groups and organisations got involved. That's why Giovanni involved some crisis group and acute care centre. He was covering up the fact that I found out that he had been committing fraud and pretending he was a carer. And that's why. And it even went as far as, because he had me harassed by organisations, that I'm doing, like I'm doing now, these videos. So you can see you can't see the camera stand in the video, but I used to do little podcasts. I had a completely different online approach to what I've had in the last 10 years now, because the last 10 years is just like, this is bullshit. I'm recording all the bad behaviour towards me. Before that, I used to record me doing artwork, doing my design work, living my life. Now it's about proving the fact that there's privacy laws broken, prying laws, confidentiality laws, eavesdropping laws. You know, I love when these dumb cunts break eavesdropping laws. It's like, you know, that eavesdropping laws are like, oh, they think that it's not a law. It's like, yeah. Do you know that you can be jailed for breaking eavesdropping laws, for listening to someone else's conversation? I was doing these podcasts back in 2017. I had somebody go, oh, he was talking to himself. I'm like, what? Do you believe that I sit there and talk to myself in the front of a window, apparently? And I was like, right. And you didn't see the camera the camera stand right there. Okay, so you didn't see and there's the footage that I've uploaded to YouTube. And my next question is, why didn't police charge you? Because why are you looking into my apartment? That's prying. So the prying law in New South Wales is a 3 months jail sentence. But if you can add to that if they've broken a prying law that has done anything to damage your health further, like defamation or health problems, you can add criminal defamation or defamation into that, civil or criminal. Which I get pissed off with police because they don't press the criminal side of it. It's like, but you do know that it's not just civil. The state of New South Wales, if I can say that defamation warrants criminal action towards me because they've already broken a crime to do this. So basically, you can't, any information that's gathered through breaking a crime, you can never use. So if you have broken prying laws and you pass that information on, and then you try to use that information, so say you damage someone's credibility with that, then I can say, well, hang on, they already broke prying laws to get the information. Okay, then that is criminal defamation. I want them charged for it. Why do you want to succeed with criminal defamation? Well, that means it's another 3-year jail sentence on top of, say, even a 3-year, or a reckless endangerment to my health. So a magistrate can look at all those charges as one and say, and that's what you can too. And I will. I'm not going to back down after the last 10 years. I don't give a shit. You know, I'm going to leave that there because I want this one to upload before the 40-minute one that I've just done. But this is what's been going on for 10 years. Like, I'm not a character of a person that's going to go, oh yeah, sure. Sure, you can go and break confidentiality laws, prying laws, privacy laws. Why not? Let's just throw the legal system out and just focus on one aspect of the law. I reacted in the last 10 years because of the actions that are criminal towards me. And any decent magistrate, which I haven't seen yet, should be looking at the fact that, yeah, well, those people, groups and organisations need to be charged. Okay? They need to be charged for the laws that they broke in Justin's life for him to react. Sure, he reacted, but he had just cause to react. You haven't stopped for 10 years. I'll leave it there because that is just over 19 minutes now. But this is what we're talking about. That's gone on. And like I said, why did it start? Oh, besides my mother's side being pieces of shit and Giovanni trying to cover his own ass with certain groups and organisations, this is just a bullshit lie about me since 2015.